some doubt about acting heads of state in states that do not recognize or not sign on.
Here's the simple answer.
Is that enough to choose sanctions?
I don't know. I mean, here's the simple answer. To France, our friend, what are you doing? You're empowering a body that could come after you. I mean, you're creating an uber prosecutor for the world with no jurisdictional limits. I would suggest that France is a robust democracy with an independent judiciary. The Rome Statute was not created to create a handful of judges and 2 or 3 people to police the world. The Rome Statute was created to provide justice and a rule of law where there was none. Places like Russia, the deepest, darkest part of ungoverned Africa, they've turned the Rome Statute upside down. Under the statute, you're required to talk to the country before you move forward. It's called complementarity. The prosecutor, Mr. Khan, was scheduled to send a team to Israel on May the 20th. 4 senators from the Democratic Party and 4 from the Republican Party talked with him personally about this. You need to hear Israel's side of the story before you blunder into this. So the meeting was canceled with Israeli officials at the airport. Now we know the guy's under investigation. A few weeks earlier, there was a complaint made against him about his personal behavior. So this whole thing stinks to high heaven. You've got an independent investigation supposedly being authorized about the motives of the prosecutor, but the court moves forward anyway. So our friends in France, I'm glad you're rethinking your position. The answer should be very simple. Palestine is not a state under international law, and the Rome Statute doesn't apply to Israel or the United States or France or Germany or Great Britain, because it wasn't conceived to come after us. We have our legal systems in place. So that's the right answer, and quite frankly, the only answer. But I will tell some of our dearest friends, what are the limits of this court? I've asked openly to every member state, do you believe the court, International Criminal Court, has jurisdiction over the President of the United States, the Secretary of Defense, if somebody alleges wrongdoing against them? I need to know the answer to that question. Because if it's yes, woe be unto you.
Sorry, can I just change the topic for 1 second?
One quick. Yes, ma'am, I got it right. Okay.
Now that you know the composition of the Senate in the next administration,
Yeah.
do you think that a Saudi deal can pass that Senate, or do you have to pass it now before Biden moves on?
Well, we'll see about that. I've always believed that it would take a Republican voice to seal a treaty between us and Saudi Arabia. And I think it's going to take a Democratic voice to seal an agreement for the Palestinians. The American left will want things that Israel can't give. The Israeli right will want things that probably lock us into place. The point is, how you get there is to be determined by the parties themselves. I do believe that the common interest outline is real, that Saudi Arabia understands as long as this conflict is unresolved, it will have a difficult time achieving their vision of 2030. The airport is empty. I'm going back to Delta and United and American and say, start flying back to Israel. You're giving in to the terrorists here. This is ridiculous. So open up the routes. But look, the airport is shut. Saudi Arabia is now in a tit for tat. Rather than looking forward, everybody is looking backward to October the 7th. My hope is that the Iranians will not win, but they may. They may have pulled this off. They may have stopped an advancement of normalization that was very real last year by slaughtering the Jews in such an egregious fashion. And Israel's response has been firm and overwhelming, as it had to be. But it's had an effect all of its own. Hamas wants Israel to kill as many Palestinians as possible. They make it almost impossible for your soldiers to operate without killing civilians. Why? Because they want to keep this region turned upside down forever. They want to hold on to Lebanon and Syria, and they want to spread their hate. And the Prime Minister of Israel is a warrior. Sometimes it takes warriors to make peace. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is unlike any other leader I've ever met in the Arab world. Peace and prosperity and security are there for the taking. Take it. Thank you.
Franz, what are you doing?
Sorry.